parade, but it was good, I'm told, for indeed showing your support for the work that is being done by yourselves, by various communities, by government, to fight poaching of rhino. It is through efforts like these, ladies and gentlemen, that of the educators, that of the parents, that of the community, that of the business world as well, put together all of us, that we can say working together as government and the people, all that I've mentioned, we can do more. And it is through efforts like this that we can say with confidence that the problem of rhino poaching can be effectively addressed here in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, the 22nd of September, is World Rhino Day. And today here we are celebrating in style. We are actually also raising our voice as part of the efforts of the world to say we are part of the world, to say we are also really finding it necessary that as South Africa we get counted amongst those who are fighting the scourge of rhino poaching. And today is indeed a very important occasion in that we as South Africans and as South African government and indeed our partners, we have come together here to show our support for the efforts to fight against poaching of rhino. The theme, as you may well be aware, ladies and gentlemen of this World Rhino Day, is 5 rhino species forever. 5 rhino species forever. And the international theme is a clarion call that we, as a custodians of the last 5 remaining species of rhino in the world, ensure their future survival. As the young people were saying here from this podium, that it is our responsibility to ensure that the future generations find these rhinos and all other species of animals and plants and all that still prevalent in the world and as well as here in South Africa. In South Africa, we know that we are actually faced with the threat of our white and black rhino populations. Our country must ensure that we don't lose this proud, these rhinos which we actually are so proud of. We don't lose the status that we have gained for so many years of hard work indeed, of bringing the white rhino back from the brink of extinction more than 50 years ago. We did a lot. It wasn't government alone. It was government with the people and our conservationists, the specialists who are always out there doing so much work. Today, ladies and gentlemen, there are approximately, the figure we have, the child, the young boy indicated is about 20,000 white rhinos, about 4,000 black rhinos in South Africa. And 25% of these rhinos are privately owned. We are really proud of you, private owners, and we want to actually raise our voice and thank you so much for the work that you're doing, because without you, imagine, we could have been without 25% of our rhino population in this country. Because of this increase, ladies and gentlemen, in rhino population, or the increase in rhino population since 2008, rhinos have been at the center of the world's attention. This is because losing a rhino is does not only disturb our ecological systems and the ecological balance, as the young man said, but also harms South Africa's economy, as well as really just impacting negatively on our tourism industry. This tourism industry is one of our job creators in this country. And if it is impacted upon negatively, it goes without saying that there will be challenges. This also poses security threat, as international poaching syndicates across illegally cross illegally into South Africa to rob this precious animal of its horns. And we know they kill them. It is very, very bad. We actually should say no to rhino poaching, no, and a big no. In the memorandum that was handed to me this morning by the children of South Africa, we have heard you, young people, when you articulated what the majority of South Africans are saying. And the leadership of our beautiful country also feels. You have voiced that. Through the petitions and the signatures that you have collected, you're saying there are over 10,000 of them. We have heard you very loud and clear. And we are assuring you once again here that we will continue to take up this fight together with you. We've heard you and we take your message very, very seriously. We are indeed touched that we are all worried about the poaching of this rhino. This is one thing that I think actually brings all of us across ethnic groups and so on together. This is one call that I've heard be made from all quarters that let's stop rhino poaching. And I'm proud of that, very, very proud of you South Africans. And so says President Jacob Zuma. I can assure you that, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, that we will not allow rhino to become extinct on our watch. Let me repeat. We can assure you that we will not allow our rhino to become extinct on our watch. And we as a government, working together with our partners, departments also like justice and security, and in the security cluster, in the entire security cluster, South African national parks and other private entities, NGOs, CBOs as well. We are working hard to meet the continuous challenge that's being presented in dealing with the poaching issue. The spate of rhino poaching, ladies and gentlemen, has strengthened our resolve and determination to work tirelessly to address this problem. One of the young people said earlier on this morning that from a negativity you can actually become positive or draw positivism. They always say that you can use lemon to make lemonade. That's that positivism. So we have now, it has strengthened our resolve. We have now a stronger determination than never before. And among the latest development is the work that we are doing as the Department of Environmental Affairs in consultation with Treasury to establish the National Rhino Fund in order to address the interventions that are directed to rhino poaching. The establishment of the National Rhino Fund, ladies and gentlemen, and the compilation of a database of all NGOs and NPOs and any other organizations and or individuals who raise funds to save the rhino are among recommendations that are being implemented following the adoption of the Rhino Issue Manager Report, which we assume that you have been part of, especially those who are in the CBOs, maybe you're not yourself, children who are here today, but many of you may have participated as we were collating views in our country through this Rhino Issue Manager. And that report has recommended that we establish this fund. The National Rhino Fund will result in the consolidation of all funding requirements and ensure that funding is distributed successfully to state and to privately owned rhino anti-poaching initiatives that are there, including the conservation, safety and security, skills development and research. With regards to the establishment of the national database, ladies and gentlemen, all non-profit and non-governmental organizations and individuals involved in fighting rhino poaching, the department and stakeholders agreed at a workshop, you remember that workshop, those who were here there, which was held recently in Pretoria, actually last month to be precise, that everyone involved in the efforts to fight rhino poaching needs to register with the department. And we would once again like to assure you that we didn't drop that recommendation. that decision that you made. We are beginning soon with the registration campaign of those and putting that database together. The national environmental laws is one area that we're working on, and the first amendment, that's a National Environment Management Laws, First Amendment Act, has now been placed before Parliament, which is actually aimed at strengthening the regulatory and enforcement provisions to prevent abuse of the hunting permit system that was recently introduced and is being implemented as we speak, amongst many other things that we are looking at. This NEMLA bill has passed through the first stages of Parliament, National Assembly. It's now with the National Council of Provinces. This is just part, ladies and gentlemen, amongst many other programs that we are running as a department together with yourselves to fight the scourge of rhino poaching. We know that there is a whole plan of that we are currently implementing that is on anti-rhino poaching plan, and this is, I'm just mentioning today here a few things amongst those or that plan that are found in that plan. Another step taken towards finding a solution to the poaching scourge was the authorization granted to the Department of Environmental Affairs in July by Cabinet South Africa to prepare and submit a rhino trade proposal for consideration at the 17th Conference of Parties that will be held here in South Africa, the CITES conference in 2016. The decision to table a proposal, rather to put together first a proposal and table that proposal, ladies and gentlemen, at the next CITES was not taken lightly. We looked at work that we are doing, and it doesn't really mean that as we are preparing to table this proposal, we will abandon any other initiative that we are currently running with. All other initiatives, including those that we are still thinking about, will be implemented. And therefore, including this one of a six-point plan tabled here by our young people here today. So all those will continue as we prepare ourselves for tabling this proposal. But again, let me assure you that this is not a proposal that we're going to sit in the corridors of government or wherever and think about it alone. We're going to consult with you. We're going to work together. And this is where you really have to sharpen our brains, memories, and everything else, our abilities for contributions, so that when that time comes, we are ready to make a difference and at least submit a very strong proposal that will never ever leave South Africa vulnerable in future and even now.